classe, glamour e voz. Essas são as 3 palavras que eu uso para definir Shelley Clarke White. Cantora e dançarina, a artista ficou conhecida por ser integrante original do grupo musical The Rolling Stones, ao lado da cantora Edna Wright, que nos deixou em setembro deste ano, e Carolyn Willis. O grupo ficou popularmente conhecido por conquistar o #1 na Billboard com o hit Wonders. Além da sua participação nas Rolling Stones, Shelley Clarke também ficou conhecida por trabalhar com renomados artistas, entre eles Ike e Tina Turner, como iCat, e também ao lado do cantor Little Richard. Shelley também foi símbolo do programa Hot City Disco nos anos 70. Ela é casada com o guitarrista Virginia White, da banda Earth, Wind and Fire. E é com ela que eu terei a honra e o prazer de bater um papo. Antes de tudo, muito obrigado, Shelley, por aceitar o convite.
Thank you so much, Joe. I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for the invitation. Sending love and peace to you and all of your viewers. So once again, thank you for the opportunity.
Bom, com quantos anos a senhora descobriu a capacidade para cantar?
Well, in honesty, I was like 2 years old, 2 or 3. My mother was a concert pianist, and so she would play piano in the house. And when I was little, I started singing along and just to whatever she was playing. And she told my father that she has perfect pitch. Let's teach her some songs. And so they did, and they taught me How Much Is That Doggy in the Window, and Oh, Never Smile at a Crocodile. And then they put me in a pageant, and that was such a hit that they decided to teach me more songs and keep it going.
Uau! A senhora sempre teve a música como profissão única?
Actually, I was a dancer first, and so they focused on dancing routines, and eventually they put my brother in the act, and so we started off as dancers and didn't really sing until much later. We incorporated it in and out of the dancing.
A senhora teve o apoio da sua família para seguir a carreira musical?
Actually, I did. They have always been supportive. They were always introducing, new techniques of singing and this and that. And in high school, I won a scholarship to sing opera and be trained at USC.
Bom, em 1957, a senhora e seu irmão lançaram um álbum pela Columbia Records intitulado Calypso Songs for Children. Este foi seu primeiro contato profissional com a música e como foi feito o convite da gravadora para a gravação do álbum?
Well, at the time, my brother and I were working all around New York, and we developed quite a bit of a name for ourselves. We were called the Clark Kids. We were hired all over New York, singing and dancing, and so we were in a Broadway play for 8 months, which starred Pearl Bailey and Diane Carroll. Diane Carroll was 18 years old. It was her first job at the time. And so as we were in this Broadway play, which went on for, I want to say, 7 or 8 months, called The House of Flowers, producers happened to see us there from Columbia Records. And they came to the Broadway producers and they said, we'd love to have these kids come and do an LP. So the Broadway producers said, well, we can't loan them out because they're performing every day for, until the ends of time, until the show is over. But we were, of course, on Broadway, you go dark every Monday. So the producer said you can have them for 2 days tops. So the Columbia producers took us and we were in the studio for 2 days straight with a full orchestra, singing and cranking out this album, which turned out to be a very good project. Then we went right back to the Broadway play. It was a great project, and I think all the songs are on YouTube. I don't know how they got there from 1950, whatever it was, 5, 7, but they're all on there. So periodically I go and I listen to them, or I send them to friends, and they go, wow, you guys have been in the business a long time.
I am a little girl from Trinidad. Sometime I'm good and sometime I'm bad. Mama, she talked all the day, how I should grow up and how I should play. Walk straight as three, Mama, she said. Walk straight as three, Mama, she said. If I will hit her, then I won't need her to help me carry baskets on my head. Learn how to cook and you will see. Learn how to cook and you will see. If I will hit her, then I won't need her to catch a fellow who will marry me. Learn how to sew with...
Bom, Shelly, a senhora também foi um iCat, correto?
Yes, I was an iCat in 1967.
Por quanto tempo a senhora permaneceu no grupo e como foi o processo para a senhora se tornar um iCat?
Well, I believe I was out by 1968 because of that horrible bus accident where I was hospitalized for 2 weeks. But I remember being auditioned by a woman named Ann Kane. I remember she found my number somehow, and she called me and asked if she could come over. And so she came to my apartment and she said, would you sing and dance for me? In which case I did. And so I was so surprised when she said, you know, wow, you're great. Okay, you fly out in the morning. And I was dumbfounded because I didn't know it was going to happen that fast.
Durante os anos 60 e 70, os grupos musicais estavam em alta. Como a senhora definiria a indústria musical naquela época?
Well, for one thing, I think all the best music came out of the 60s and 70s. You know, it may be a little prejudiced, but really, I had a lot of musical heroes that were in and on Broadway and in Broadway shows. Like, I love things like Damn Yankees and West Side Story and Oklahoma, and that's the kind of music that I followed back in the day.
Ótimo.
I need a love that's true, gonna put it in the water.
Shelly, a senhora foi conhecida por integrar originalmente o grupo musical The Honeycomb, ao lado de Edna Wright e Carolyn Willis. A primeira aparição do trio como um grupo se deu no programa do Andy Williams, em 1969, quando Edna Wright substituiu a irmã Darlene Love, e imediatamente convidou vocês duas para participarem. Como foi feita essa apresentação de última hora? A senhora já conhecia Edna e Carolyn?
Actually, I knew Carolyn. Carolyn Willis and I were in a group called the Cover Girls, and she and I and Shirley Matthews would sing background sessions for many well-known artists all over town. And it just so happened that sometimes Carolyn would work with Edna, with another girl, possibly the late, great Clyde King. But I did not know Edna until we got to the soundstage for Andy Williams, and I met her there, and it just so happened that Eddie Holland was watching at Edna's urging, and he liked what he saw, and that's how we became the Honeycomb.
The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I'll say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you'll stay in my heart, and I will love you forever and ever. Whenever we're part, oh how I love you. Together, together, that's how it must be. Oh how I love you. So say a little prayer for me. Say a little prayer for me.
Quais as inspirações musicais que vocês tiveram enquanto Honeycomb?
I think all of us, of course, like the Supremes and all the girls groups on Motown and others, but we didn't want to be like them. We wanted to have our own style and not be such a stuffy kind of group with the gowns and the gloves. Coming from Los Angeles, and later on, we had sort of like a hipper concept that we wanted to be, but we enjoyed listening to all the 60s, 70s great groups.
Bom, vocês chegaram a gravar alguma música ou demo que não foram lançadas?
No, sadly, I don't have any thing that was released. I did a lot of recording after the Honeycomb, and one was with one of the band members / a producer that was in Earth, Wind and Fire, not Verdine.
Além de trabalhar com Ike e Tina Turner como iCat, a senhora também trabalhou com Little Richard, correto?
Yes, that is correct. I had to heal from the bus accident in Los Angeles before I could do any more work. But oddly enough, 7 months after the accident, I was able to dance again. And that's what I was doing with Richard.
E como foi a experiência?
That was very different. First of all, in a way, I was really scared to travel in buses and tour vans again. But my dance partner and I, a tall, elegant dancer named Byron Gilliam, who danced for Playboy After Dark, and he was on Laugh-In. He and I opened the show for Little Richard. We did 2 dance numbers, and then Richard would come out and do his, his thing, Good Golly Miss Molly and all of that. And I do remember asking Richard every week, "Are you going to let me sing? Can I sing this week?" And he would always say, okay, next week, okay, next week. And of course, it never happened. So I remained a dancer with Richard for that tour.
Bom, durante os anos em atividade do Honeycomb, vocês participavam das produções do álbum, por exemplo, na escolha da setlist e a produção das harmonias?
Well, we actually did sometimes our own harmonies. Carolyn Willis was really good at hearing backgrounds, and so mostly Lamont Dozier was the one that would do the harmonies, but Carolyn was the one that would put it all together. She's a great, great singer. And as far as having anything to do with the lineup, only for stage, we had not too much to do with anything like that for the LPs. The producers and the label, they would put that kind of thing together, but for the stage, we could do our own set list, yes.
Bom, ano passado, a série American Soul Beat, exibida pelo próprio canal Beat, homenageou as Honeycomb em um dos seus episódios. Eu queria saber o que a senhora achou da homenagem.
Well, it was funny because the producers of that called to ask me if I still had my old wardrobe from whatever year that was, and I said no, but you could probably find it on YouTube. That's how I found out that they were featuring Honeycomb, which is appropriate because we were the first group to ever be on Soul Train. And as far as the special goes, I think it was okay. I'm just glad they used our track. They used the real track with Edna's voice and us singing, and I might have picked different girls to be in it, but the ones that were there, it was adequate.
Concordo.
I'm gonna put it in the wanted. Somebody rescue me. Extra, extra. Read all about it. Want it? A young man single and free. Experience and love with that, but we'll accept a young trade.
A senhora ainda mantém contato com Carolyn Willis?
Carolyn Willis, as you may or may not know, did retire from the industry and really doesn't want to be performing anymore. But instead, she's become a bit of a Martha Stewart, and she has her own garden. She grows her own vegetables. She does everything that Martha Stewart does. She makes clothing, and so the answer to that is yes, we keep in touch periodically.
Ela ainda trabalha no ramo musical, né, na indústria musical?
Sadly, Carolyn doesn't really want to have anything to do with it. She's not even anywhere on social media, Facebook and any of that. But she's happy with, not being a part of it anymore.
A senhora foi uma das pessoas que Mary Wilson considerou para substituir Jim Terrell nas The Supremes, em 1973. Eu queria saber se Mary chegou a fazer o convite para a senhora. Eu queria também que a senhora contasse um pouco sobre essa história.
No, Mary just knew right away that she wanted me for the group. She never asked me to audition. In her book, she states that Shelley was my first choice. She had a #1 hit on Billboard charts, across the world. And so she knew that, she didn't need to audition me. But when she came to my house, she did ask me what I consider. And she was very kind. Mary's the sweetest person you could ever know. But I told her that I wanted more control over my life, in which case, when you're in a group, you're having to consider suggestions from the other girls, from the management, from the record company. And I had my experience with that, with the Honeycomb. And I just said I wasn't going to do any more girls groups, but I would do other things in the industry.
A senhora chegou a fazer parte de algum outro grupo pós-Honeycomb?
No. After the Honeycomb, I avoided, getting in other groups. I did a lot of solo projects, even, a couple of TV shows, which was, the best one was Hot City Disco, which is on YouTube, where I was the star of that show. And Verdine was the one that ended up being the music supervisor. So it was a great show, kind of like Solid Gold on that order.
Shelley, a senhora é uma das pessoas que está por dentro do mundo da moda, né, do mundo fashion. Em 2014, a senhora desfilou no Fashion Week em San Diego. Eu queria saber quais são as suas inspirações no cenário da moda e se a senhora já tinha trabalhado como modelo antes.
Well, I can say that that was so much fun being a celebrity model for the San Diego Fashion Week. I loved all of it, watching all the models and going into makeup and this and that, and they treated me so well with such respect. That was probably my only modeling job, but I've been on, I want to say maybe 50 red carpets, and that's a modeling job in itself, just without the runway. So I'm forever working with stylists for clothing and trying to stay cutting edge on what's hip and what's current.
época de isolamento social. Eu queria saber o que a senhora tem feito para ocupar a mente.
Well, the one great thing is I've been reading a lot, catching up on a lot of books that I needed to read, and speaking of that, we've gone through the house and spent time donating books to organizations and clothing and blankets to other organizations, and that's been great. But I also was fortunate enough to have my own show now on YouTube and Facebook with my co-host, the chairman of the board. They are my record label mates from the 60s and 70s. And as a matter of fact, one of them wrote one of our hits, well, all of our hits actually, General Johnson, rest in peace, but his group is carrying on. And so the show is called That's My Story. We're on episode 18. It takes up a lot of my week with our production meetings via Zoom and that kind of thing. So I've been very busy in this time.
Qual a mensagem a senhora gostaria de deixar para os seus fãs?
Well, first of all, I say to stay healthy as best you can, stay safe as best you can. Here in Los Angeles, we're just coming out of another semi-lockdown, so I say that if you're trying to be in the industry, to just persevere, and you may hear a lot of no's. You know, you may have hundreds of people telling you no, but just remember one yes will open up a door for you, and you will get the confidence to just keep going. And just keep going no matter what. You know, sing, play, dance in your home, do whatever you need to do to get your life off the ground. You know, read, and mostly learn the business of show business. We all know that we want to be on stage, but we also sometimes don't take into consideration that we need to know publishing and royalties and how to start our own company and things like that. So that, you know, that would be my advice.
Eu queria agradecer a senhora pela entrevista novamente, né? Então eu reafirmo que é uma honra de coração entrevistar a senhora. Grande beijo do Brasil e muito obrigado mais uma vez.
Well, we're sending love back to you, Zhao, and I'm very honored that you chose me to want to interview, and you know, without all the love and support of the fans, then we artists are really nothing without you guys. So once again, thank you, and we'll do part 2 anytime you like.
Com certeza.
Bye.
Bye.